we used to have debates on this show like a year ago. We would say, who's better, Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk? That was funny because I used to argue Brandon Ayuk, and I like Brandon Ayuk. He's a good player, but I just now feel like I was really, really super wrong, and that Deebo Samuel not only is better than Brandon Ayuk, but that he's better than every player in the league, and that he's the best player in football. I pretty much feel that way, and he'll never get that credit because that always goes to a quarterback or a pass rusher. But I'm sorry, man. I don't think this team would have a winning record without Deebo Samuel.
I think he's really, 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 really special. I said before the season,
So what I
I
want to say
actually
is
tweeted it out.
this is your opportunity to take a victory lap because you were right.
Yeah,
And everyone's like trying to jump on now and be like, this is how good Deebo is. But you've been saying this for like more than a year. So what I'm saying is I don't want to take credit. This is your moment.
I legitimately thought, especially when I heard that he was doing really good in camp, I thought we were going to see an MVP level year from him. I tweeted out before the season, think 2012 Percy Harvin, first 6 game of the season when Percy Harvin was an MVP candidate. To me, he took it to a level beyond Percy Harvin because I think what he does in the run game is even more special. Yeah,
and Percy Harvin with strength and durability. Yeah, it's crazy.
And
because Percy Harvin broke down every time.
Yeah. And one of the
Yeah.
topics we've talked about throughout this season to me is who's the leader on the 49ers? The Niners have a void in leadership. I think the one thing we've seen in the second half of this season is that they go how Deebo Samuel goes. And it's not a vocal leadership to me, but it's the physical tone in every game, the energy. He gets everybody going. It's Deebo Samuel who sets the tone on how they're going to play. To me, it was Deebo Samuel that against the Rams when Jalen Ramsey tried to intimidate him, didn't flinch at all. And it was him that was poised throughout that entire game. It's a little bit Frank Gore-esque. You know, Frank Gore wasn't the most vocal guy, but he was kind of the heart and soul of the 2011 to 2014.
There's just an understanding that the offense goes through him.
Yeah.
Because everyone knows the offense goes through him. Yeah. Deebo.
To me, it's him. He sets the tone. They go as Deebo
Kittle
Samuel
knows it. Kittle knows. Everyone knows that it's Deebo's offense, Deebo's team. And if Deebo looks at Kyle and says, give me the ball, everyone's like, cool, Deebo wants the ball. Great, thanks. Do it.
I mean, his touchdown run was ridiculous. For him to cut back, but then have that gear. And this is the explosive gear that I talk about. You know, when I talk about Brandon Ayuk, this is something I don't see that he has. No. But this, to me, the most special players. Jerry Rice had it on the football field. This gear to run away from everybody with that rare explosion. Deebo Samuel has it. And that's why he's changed this offense in the red zone, because when angles get tighter, he's able to just outrun them with pure speed. I mean, he did it against the Rams on his touchdown run. This touchdown run was just pure explosion and pure speed.
I'd like to check it out, but where do you think his average, like on his touchdown runs, how do you think, how far out do you think they've been on average? 15 yards?
Probably 14, 15 yards, yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Who else in the league is like that? Who can do that? Again, that's why I keep comparing him to Steph Curry. It's like, it's just having the 30-foot shot in your arsenal. Like, oh, you can score from out there. Well, that's tough. How do we stop that? You can't.
And the other thing I wanted to touch on, right, because another topic of conversation we've had, and to me, Deebo solved that problem too, is, they missed Mostert. They missed Mostert's explosion in this offense. Deebo Samuel continues to be their number one wide receiver, but the transformation in this offense is Kyle Shanahan having the judgment to make an in-season adjustment and start playing Deebo as a running back to get more touches out of him. And you find out, wow, he's one of the 5 best running backs in the NFL. Wow, you no longer miss that explosive element to your offense because Deebo turns 7-yard runs into 25-yard runs with just pure speed and power and vision. He's insane.
He's Mostert with power.
Yeah.
He's Mostert with power, which is crazy because Mostert was averaging 6 yards a carry. This guy can do that too.
And to me, they got to sign him no matter what. I've seen people say, they don't need to sign him.
I'm sold.
His
I'm sold on that. I'm sold. Yeah. Deebo has to stay. Deebo has to stay. And now I'm thinking, like, if you were to choose between Deebo and Bosa, Bosa's great. He's objectively a great player, but they did fine without him. I don't think the Niners would do fine without Deebo Samuel. Again, I think they would have a losing record without Deebo. They would have lost to Chicago without Deebo Samuel. I think they would have beaten Chicago without Bosa.
Yeah,
they would have lost to Chicago.
I don't know if I'm ready to go there, but I think one thing we can say is that 2019 draft, looking back on it, the fact that they nailed their franchise offensive player with their second-round pick and they nailed their franchise defensive player with their first-round pick is pretty impressive.